I was going to say, yeah, jump around, but they put me in this little bitty spot. Ever since we moved to this new studio, you used to have the whole wall to do your A-list with, and now I got the baby wall. But we're going to start with Will Anderson Jr. as people who I think are going to take over the NFL next year. Yeah, I know he's a big-time player right now. He was the second pick of the draft. They actually gave up capital after the third pick of the draft. They gave up capital after getting C.J. Stroud the second pick because they knew how dangerous this dude would be. Yes, this defense is number one in points. This defense is number one in yards. And every time he is one-on-one, he is whipping somebody's keister. Will Anderson Jr., a guy who might be scared of the dark, but he ain't scared of none of y'all offensive linemen at number 5. And number 4, this one may be like a little bit controversial. I'm going Malik Willis. What team is going to get Malik Willis? Will it be the Indianapolis Colts as Daniel Jones rehabs? Will it be some team that figures out after watching him play with Matt LaFleur, this dude can be an absolute star? You want to see exactly who he is? Go back and watch him last week against the Ravens. Watch the way he utilizes his legs, pushes the football down the field. Could you imagine Tennessee Titans, had you been a little patient, had you had a better coach, had you put some people around him, Malik Willis is an absolute star. And at number 3, we're going with Justin Herbert. Why Justin Herbert? Have you watched his offensive line? Did you watch this game last week as Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. lived in the backfield? Did you see this man throwing the football with people draped all over him? Did you see the play he made against the Miami Dolphins with people all over his body getting the football to Ladd McConkey? Dude is an absolute stud. And if at any point anybody could be healthy to block for him, the statistics that he will put up will be absolutely astronomical. At number 2, and this one is easy, he's going to be an MVP someday. He's going to bring it back to the running backs. It's Bijan Robinson. You can call him Bijan, you can call him Bijan, you can call him whatever the hell you want. Just get him the dang football. The fact that sometimes in some games they forget that he's out there and he disappears and doesn't get the ball almost fumble every single play blows my mind. This man was dead to rights in the backfield 1,100 times last week in Monday Night Football, and it didn't matter. They couldn't get him on the ground. The Rams were just whiffing that air, and he was running down the sideline, checking behind him, trying to figure out when to pick up his feet. And at number 1, he will be back. Lamar, Lavernius, Jackson. Listen, I get it, guys. He's been banged up. And now all of a sudden, people want to come out with stupid reports like he don't know how to work or like he can't figure out how he's supposed to behave in meetings. Nobody was saying that when he was breaking records. Nobody was saying that when they were watching a transcendent run from the position. But now, all of a sudden, Lamar Jackson doesn't know how to be professional. This is a dude who should have 3 MVPs already. And next year, he's going to come back scorched earth and win another one. Lamar Jackson takes over the league again. That is my list. All of these people are already super great. Malik Willis will be great. And I am done, even though they put me on the small wall. I actually wore my sneakers, first generation LeBrons, because I thought I'd get to move around.
I think you've got some real estate there if you want.
Mike T, I told you I worked out the other day, man. I'm in bad shape.
Okay, so Lamar Jackson at 1. There's going to be people who are going to look at that list and say you're trolling.
Why am I trolling? That Lamar Jackson's going to be back at 1.
He's already taken over the NFL.
Yeah, but right now, they are doubting Lamar. There are actual Baltimore Sun and Mike Preston is writing stories about how Lamar Jackson is a problem in the locker room. You never heard that from John Harbaugh. You've never heard that from any of his teammates. And now all of a sudden, because he has one down year, 1 year where he's injury prone and he's not playing, people are starting to question him. I think Lamar Jackson at number 1 is very fitting for where he is right now in his career.
So he's going to be 29 in January. Does the health concern you, though? Just about the soft tissue injuries
yes,
that he had?
It does, but it should concern him. To me, this is and Lamar Jackson has always had this extreme microscope. There's never been a microscope on how good he could be. It's all been about can he deliver in the playoffs. And I believe there are more questions about this man after what he's done than there's ever been about anybody. And I believe he has to come back and prove all of the naysayers wrong.
I think I would take Lamar off just because we as football players, we understand who Lamar is. And that nonsense that's going on right now about him being a problem in Baltimore, yeah, I'm going to kick that to the curb. Go ahead and kick it to the curb. I would put Caleb Williams right here.
I like that.
The way Caleb Williams is playing right now in Ben Johnson's system, and then next year will be a second year in the system as well, that run game and how the pass game and how plays marry together, I think Caleb Williams is going to be a guy that can be up for MVP. I really love this one. Like, I'm in Atlanta. I live in Atlanta. I was at that game on Monday night. You know what I had to go do the Monday night game they played against the Buffalo Bills? I had to go buy my 9-year-old daughter and my 6-year-old son a Bijan Robinson jersey. And guess what they wore on Monday night, this past Monday? Their Bijan Robinson jersey. So much so that my daughter said, this is my favorite player in the NFL, Dad.
Wow.
Okay.
So that's how much I believe in
And
this
I
guy.
know this doesn't matter, and this is just context. He's also the greatest young human that's ever been in
Oh, he's a better guy off the field than he is on.
The way that he loves on his teammates, the sort of young man he is every day he comes into the work, he's one of those players that deserves all the success that he gets.
So two names really stand out to me. One that's on this list, Malik Willis. So first of all, we get to the draft and all these teams that need quarterbacks. There's not enough of them this year. He's going to get a starting job next year. This is such a great example. You mentioned Matt LaFleur, like being patient with quarterback development. Didn't work out for whatever reason in Tennessee, but to me, like, he will be a starter next year. He's playing great football. But the other one to me, I put up there, Cam Ward. I loved him coming out. You know, it's the same thing we talk about with Indiana. They haven't won anything since 1967. Cam Ward, Incarnate Word, makes them relevant.
Yeah.
Washington State makes them relevant. Plays great at Miami, didn't have the supporting cast. I think if they get the right coach with maybe one or two more pieces, I just think this guy has something really special with elite ability.
RC, let me ask you this question. Malik Willis, and the reason why I'm tying this together is because Matt LaFleur and Arthur Smith were together in Tennessee.
Yes.
Would you love to see him in
I would
Pittsburgh?
love to see it.
Okay.
I would love to see it. I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers have been trying to piecemeal that position together since Ben Roethlisberger left, drafting people like Kenny Pickett at 20, who, if you remember, was in the same draft as Malik Willis, and there was a lot of conversation about who would be the first-round pick or the pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a guy now who I believe can go into Pittsburgh and be what he has become, not who they thought he was when being drafted.
You know what's interesting? You mentioned about Daniel Jones and the Colts. I don't know if they could be able to pay both because I think Malik Willis is going to get starting money. I think it's probably $25, $30 million. And obviously they're going to keep Daniel Jones. I think it's one or the other. I think that's how well he's played.
Agreed.
And there's so many teams that need a quarterback. Even if Dante Moore comes out, there'll still be 2 or 3 other teams on the outside looking in relative to the draft.
This one right here, the reason why I'm smirking right now is because when you grow up with all sisters, you don't have no choice but to be tough.
Man.
You don't have no choice whatsoever to be tough. This man has all sisters.
That's a tough life.
And he praises them.
That's a
because
tough
they
life.
made him as tough as he is right now.
Yeah, I think when I initially did the list, I thought it was about people who nobody knew, right? And so at first I had names like Carson Schlesinger on there, right? The linebacker from the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
You know, people that we
Good
could
year,
talk
too.
about. Tyler Shuck was going to be one of the players who I thought would be a huge big-time player in next year. And so there are some players as well that are young guys that have opportunities to take over the league. But I wanted to use some names that people know. And I believe that, too, Justin Herbert, who is underrated, has a chance to make a name for himself in this year's playoff.
With both tackles next year.
Yeah, everybody. Hopefully, an offensive line that stays healthy. Give this a grade.
This is a great list.
I would say B+. Only because of this one.
Because you would have put Caleb Williams up
Yeah.
there. Okay.
That's the only reason.
The man's being doubted.
No, but we know.
What college you go to?
Mike,
We
Z,
know.
what kind of grade do you
Louisville.
give it?
What college you go to?
But that's even more.
I would go
why
more
no?
B minus, just because. Look, I know at LSU, players they're used to getting A's, but I would have liked to see it a little bit more.
What'd that mean, Monty?
Yeah, they just hand out grades.
That's fine.
No.
That don't hurt my feelings.
But look, we know all about Lamar. I would have liked a little bit more of the Carson Schleschingers, a little bit more of
You have to talk to my producers. That was what my list was initially, and we changed the list to this, Michael. You're supposed to be a teammate. You're supposed to be supportive. I'm not Stephen A. This list isn't fluid. I did this for the people, and this is what you did on it. You put a Dan Campbell diaper on it. I'm done. I'm not working no more.
A leaky
on that
diaper.